So, you know, guys like you have got these fancy super bikes and that lot, you know, and you always put loads of access. Are you listening to me? Hey, dummy. How is it I always end up talking to the dummies, eh? Right, I'll tell you out there. I'm on about the fact that if you've got a modern machine, inevitably you bought some form of bolt and accessory for it. That will be an exhaust cam maybe, a hugger on the back, a different coloured screen on the front, possibly some mini indicators. It's something we all do. You might even have a custom cruiser and you want to buy some more chrome bits and pieces to polish up. Then of course you might have a scooter and you might say to yourself, what can I put on my scooter? Well, there's a load of things you can do to these things. Even though they're already fairly fancy, they've got some lovely colours and they're all very stylish to start with, you might still want to upgrade it, make something more of it for putting on a fancy bolt-on accessory like this exhaust cam. So why would you want to put a performance part on a basic scooter? Well, there's a very good reason for it. The truth is, most people who buy the latest scooters, certainly the 50cc moped versions, probably end up buying one on a 3 or 4 year finance plan, just to keep the payments low. The trouble being is, they buy that when they're 16, and at 17 they want to go that bit quicker. Then they want to part exchange it. They go into the shop, they say, how much are you giving me for that, mate? And end up realising that they're actually sat on something that's called negative equity, meaning, very simply, that the part exchange figure is an awful lot less than they already owe. So the next move is very, very simple. Put some bolt-on bits and pieces on that scooter for not a lot of money, quite easily £100 will do the job, possibly more if you want to go that much quicker. And then having done that, you've got your performance scooter that'll last you another couple of years before you upgrade either to a bigger scooter or possibly a big motorbike. And that's where these bits and pieces come into the equation. We started on exhaust, why not start further on exhaust with this one, Technigas. That's only one of many brands that are available. 90% of them do come out of Italy, because that seems to be where all performance exhausts come from. Now I know that if you have a super bike you might put on an end can, multicolours, multiple shapes and so on. They do increase performance, and that's exactly what these do. Now this particular company here, Gianelli, who produced this can, that's 130 quid's worth, I might point out, whereas the Technigas is only £80 worth, is one of the big boys, and they produce all sorts of performance cans, or exhaust systems you might say, for various different scooters, different brands. There's other makes, Melos is one of them, Lea Vinci is one of them, Arrow's one of them, loads. Not only can you put an exhaust on it, then obviously there's other bits and pieces. Take this for example, carburetor, £60 upwards, buys your carburetor, that increases performance as well. On your carburetor you can stick one of them, and that looks something for your money, doesn't it? And that's only 15 quid's worth. And this will help the airflow. If you help the airflow in the carburetor and through the engine, and help the airflow out of the carburetor in the way of an exhaust can, then obviously you're going to increase the overall performance of the bike. You make the bike go that bit quicker, you've obviously got to help it stop. Well, you can do that as well, because look at this. You can even buy, for the likes of 115 quid, a fully floating disc. That's a performance brake disc. Stick some decent brake pads in your bike and some brake shoes if it happens to be a drum on the rear, and that'll stop the machine. So you go a bit quicker, around 50-60 mile an hour rather than the restricted 30, and you can stop quicker some performance brakes. Now that obviously just increases the overall performance of it. The thing is, you need to sort of enter the league of making the bike work better, and that's what you do with things like these. These parts go inside the motor and they help the drive of the engine so that it gives you mid-range power as well as just out and out top speed. There's things like this. This is only 15 quid. This is like a sort of booster thing, and this helps flow petrol through the carburetor quicker and faster, so that again helps with the mid-range power. All sorts of things. You're obviously going to need some advice, aren't you, with this sort of thing? Well, what you do is you visit shops like this. I mean, this is the Scooter Shack in Southport, one of many shops that are available for you to go and have a chat with nowadays, who specialise specifically in scooters. They're all over the country. And the great thing about guys like these are experienced on scooters alone rather than motorbikes in general, and that means they can offer you advice, probably fit you a few things, and make your bike or your scooter go that much better. So what we're going to do in the future, we're going to come back to this place and we're going to ride a bike that's been tuned up, and it's a 125 with a power kit on it. Oh, look at that, this must be a remote control version.